I think when I play with swag and I'm just confident, that's the best version of myself on the court. So sometimes you just gotta look in the mirror and tell yourself what you need to hear. And that's what I've been doing lately. So
what do you say, T?
I can't say what I say. Just know it's a very nice boost. So yeah.
Guys, have you ever been watching a game and you're like, dog, I've been watching this, and you see a player who's just playing fantastic out there, and you're watching it and you're like, man, this player, I've been watching this player for years. This player is great. They've been doing a lot of awesome stuff, but when or where did they come from? Like, I remember that I know all about them, the last couple of years on this team, and before they were on this other team, and I watched them there too. But before that, who is this person? What are they really about? I don't know the backstory like that. And that occurred to me yesterday, when it came to the Minnesota Lynx. That came to me yesterday, because once again, Natisha Hiedeman does her big one for the Minnesota Lynx. She came off the bench, dropping daggers and igniting the Minnesota Lynx to ultimately win again. Natisha Hiedeman is one of those players who is really, really good. Someone who's a fun player to watch, but also someone who does get forgotten about. Again, I've been watching Natisha Heidman for years. I remember when she played with Connecticut. I know what she can do, but a lot of times I find myself very much like a
now you can have any coffee.
I find myself like very much forgetting about certain players sometimes until something happens, and I'm just like, dang, that person is amazing, right? So yesterday the Minnesota Lynx beat the Phoenix Mercury. It was a pretty significant beatdown, 88-65. Now, early in that game, Minnesota had to make a comeback, because early in the game it did look like the Phoenix Mercury kind of had it, but Natisha Hiedeman comes in the game and she does what she does best. She makes an impact. She absolutely makes an impact. And in this game, Natisha Hiedeman, again, guys, she doesn't start. She comes in, plays 24 minutes, dropping 18 points. She was super efficient, 70% from the field, 50% from the three. She was big time help for this team, right? Big time help. And it made me think, like, you know what? Natisha Hiedeman, that girl she a hooper. She a spark plug for this team. She's the difference maker. But who in the world is Natisha Hiedeman? Where in the world did she come from? And how in the world is this girl so clutch? So it led me down the rabbit hole this morning. Very early in the morning, as I walked through, as I did research and walked through the history of Natisha Hiedeman, because I know about her WNBA, or at least I thought I knew about her WNBA career. And I didn't really know much about college other than the fact that she played at Marquette. I didn't know much. But as I was diving in, I was like, whoa, there was some stuff to Natisha Hiedeman's story that I didn't know. And as I was looking through this stuff this morning, I was like, wow, I have to share this with people, who Natisha Hiedeman is and how she's been able to do what she's been able to do, because she is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic role player for this Minnesota Lynx squad. And so, yeah, let's talk about who is Natisha Hiedeman. So, Natisha Hiedeman was a player who was absolutely cooking at Marquette. So when she was at Marquette, to be honest with you, I wasn't checking for her. I wasn't. I didn't really watch Marquette play. I didn't know much about her, but she finished college, I believe, third all time in Marquette history, as their third all time in leading scorer for the program. Right? Natisha Hiedeman left college as the Big East Player of the Year, and guys, that was at the same time where I believe UConn was back in the Big East, and so that's big, right? She became the highest draft pick in Marquette history when she was drafted number 18. She was the first Marquette player to ever hit 300 threes. She is a shorty, right? Natisha Hiedeman is not tall. I don't think anybody would would say that she is tall. However, this is someone who is a 5'8" jackrabbit. She can go and go and go and go and go and go and go. And it's very fun to see. And she did it in college, and she brought it over to the WNBA. So at Marquette, she was amazing. End all be all in a lot of ways. She was flat out fantastic. Okay? Then Natisha Hiedeman ends up going to the WNBA. And I got to tell you, her WNBA career has been very, very interesting. Also, guys, if y'all are curious what she averaged in her Big East Player of the Year in her last year at Marquette, she averaged 17.6 points a game, 6.1 rebounds a game. Again, as a 5'8" guard, that's pretty good. 4.5 assists per game as well, and 2.0 steals per game. So that's what she averaged as a senior at Marquette. So then it comes to the WNBA. And guys, when I tell you, I didn't totally appreciate her stint in the WNBA until I went through these stats. And I was like, what? Really? Is this real? So what a whirlwind for a player like Natisha Hiedeman. Because her WNBA journey was not smooth, guys. She was drafted number 18 by the Minnesota Lynx. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Guys, when I was looking this stuff up, I was like, how in the world did I not remember that Natisha Hiedeman was drafted by the Minnesota Lynx? She drafted by the Minnesota Lynx in 2019 as a number 18th pick. Then she was immediately, that night, I believe, traded to the Connecticut Sun for Lexi Brown. All right, so drafted by the Minnesota Lynx, traded immediately for Connecticut. And then Connecticut was like, actually, we don't need you. So she was waived by the Connecticut Sun. So after she was drafted and traded, she was waived. And so it's like, okay, Natisha Hiedeman, she started off her WNBA career waiting for a phone call, right? She started off her WNBA career waiting for that phone call from somebody to give her an opportunity. So let's continue on, right? She was ultimately signed in June by the Atlanta Dream. Okay? So she was waived before the season started in preseason by Connecticut. The Atlanta Dream ended up picking her up because of Eurobasket. See how everything all ties together? Everything all ties together because I've been talking about Eurobasket. I've been telling y'all about it and telling y'all about how players regularly go overseas to play in Eurobasket during the WNBA season. Because of Eurobasket and because of WNBA participation in Eurobasket, Natisha Hiedeman is in the WNBA right now, thanks to that. The reason why is because she signed with the Atlanta Dream because Alex Bentley had to go over to play in Eurobasket. She was on the Atlanta Dream. Okay, she was on the Atlanta Dream, Alex Bentley. She had to go overseas to participate in Eurobasket. And so Atlanta was like, we need a player. Let's grab Natisha Hiedeman. They grab Natisha Hiedeman. She plays for a bit until Alex Bentley comes back. Then she's waived by the Atlanta Dream. And, at that point, the Connecticut Sun has seen enough. And they're like, actually, we want you back. We want you back. So she signs shortly after she was waived by the Atlanta Dream after Alex Bentley comes back and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, shortly after that, she is picked up by the Connecticut Sun. So she's drafted, traded, waived, signed a contract, waived again, picked up for the from the same team she was traded from in the span of 2 months. In the span of 2 months, all of this stuff happened. All of this stuff happened. What she was drafted in May, and then picked up by Atlanta in June, then waived on July the 1st, then picked up by the Connecticut Sun on July the 3rd in 2019. Isn't that crazy? Like, does anyone else find that to be wild? Because again, I was a huge WNBA fan at the time. Been their way for a long time, but there's so many little tidbits, little aspects about certain players and certain teams and whatnot that I just don't remember. And I was just like, what? That's wild. That is wild. So she got picked up by Atlanta. By by Atlanta, did her thing, got waived because, of course, she was a temporary player, got picked up again by Connecticut, and ever since then, guys, Natisha Hiedeman has been a baller. Because most players don't make it through the roster roulette of the WNBA. Natisha Hiedeman did, and she stuck. From 2019 to 2023, Natisha Hiedeman was a huge role player for the Connecticut Sun, right? She was not just a bench player only. There was a period of time where she absolutely was starting in 2023 as well. And she has had a great career with the Connecticut Sun, where she just came in the game and did her job, right? Whether that's her scoring 20 plus points in a game, whether that's her, just playing some defense, whether that's her getting some good assists, whether that's her just doing a little bit of everything. She was someone who could get you around 9 to 10 points a game, right? She's big time player, right? She's fun fact, guys. I believe she's top 20 all time in scoring for the Connecticut Sun, right? And she was really great. Okay, so anyway, she had some huge stretches of being fantastic, especially in 2023, which is probably her sort of breakout season. And so in 2023, she's rocking out with the Connecticut Sun. Connecticut's looking pretty fun. They're looking pretty good. In 2023, she started all games with the team. She averaged 8.5 points a game, 2.7 assists per game. She was rocking and rolling, right? Had her 1,000th point, and she was doing great, doing really, really great. And then she made the decision to go to the Minnesota Lynx. All right, so from originally being with the Minnesota Lynx by draft to being traded, now to going back to the Minnesota Lynx. So in the last 2 years, she has, oh darn, I actually had a graphic for her Sun years. But anyway, her Sun years were great. Really, really great for her and making an impact. And then for the last 2 seasons, we've been seeing her in Minnesota. And in Minnesota, she's a primary bench player. She comes off the bench, is a really good replacement for Courtney Williams at times when Courtney Williams is struggling. You take Courtney Williams out, you bring in Natisha Hiedeman, or you play Courtney Williams and Natisha Hiedeman at the same time. It doesn't matter. Either way, Natisha Hiedeman is looking good. She could be a point guard. She could be a shooting guard. She's just a combo whatever player. That's Natisha Hiedeman. And I wanted to specifically talk about her because she's one of those players who doesn't get a lot of love and attention. But, guys, this season so far, Natisha Hiedeman's averaging 8.8 points a game, 2 rebounds a game, 2.8 assists per game. She's doing her thing, guys. Absolutely doing her thing. And she's had a couple of stretches of games where she has been absolutely masterful, right? And a huge reason as to why the Minnesota Lynx ended up winning, right? Look at her game yesterday, 18 points, right? You look at she hit a clutch 3-point shot several games ago. She's been doing her thing as well, rocking out. And a player like Natisha Hiedeman, is looking good, right? Natisha Hiedeman, she's been thriving in the WNBA. She's not just a point guard. She's not just a shooting guard. She's a everything type of player. And she plays with swag. And it is very, very fun to see. She's tough. She's fun. She's tough. She can control the tempo. She's 5'8", but sometimes she be playing like she's 6 foot. She has some good defense. She has confidence at an all-time high. And Natisha Hiedeman, she's not probably going to start for the Minnesota Lynx. She's probably not someone who you're going to hear about too much. However, this is somebody that you need to pay attention to because when the lights shine the brightest, when things matter the most, Natisha Hiedeman is rocking and rolling. If y'all like underdog stories, if y'all like lore about WNBA players, that's what I do on this channel. So anyway, that's it. That's the stream. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I know I'm not in my normal setup, but I do appreciate y'all for y'all support. And look at Mr. President. Y'all get the view of Mr. President. So I hopefully that's a good treat for y'all today. Y'all can see Mr. President. He's looking very nice in the background. Anyway, that's the stream. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all liked seeing Mr. President, hit that like button Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend that Quita Love Sports is on the internet talking about women's hoops. So if y'all could, please make sure to support the channel. Subscribe. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend that we are doing this thing, and we are doing it every single day. So I will see y'all tomorrow around the same time as we talk through more women's hoops. So until next time, guys, I gotta go. I thank you so much for rocking with me. I love you, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye. Hit that like button. Thank you.